Danny, yeah, if you want to introduce Technovation, the floor is yours.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Kensani Nkuna. I'm the Enterprise Development Manager from Technovation. Technovation, we are a technology-based incubator where we provide business development for startups. Mainly, most of them are situated, it's students from the University of Pretoria. We are based at the University of Pretoria, but we do also support startups that are outside the campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Kansani. And we have Unisa and TUT together. Unisa, if you have someone you can introduce the Unisa Entrepreneurship Program. Yongama, maybe. Is someone from Unisa to introduce the Unisa, please? Proceed. Okay, teams. From TUT, Training University of Technology. Nobody? Okay, in the Unisa and TUT team, it will be also...
Sorry, I can take TUT, yeah. Alban?
Yeah, sure.
So,
TUT?
Yes, okay. Go, Prof.
No, I was saying Prof. Moyo is here. You can take in the meeting.
It's TUT, not DUT. Huh? It's TUT.
No, it's TUT. Yeah, TUT.
TUT.
Unisa is here. Basanda.
Yeah, Basanda.
At least I know. Basanda from Unisa is here.
Yeah, Basanda, if you can introduce the Unisa, please. Okay, maybe it's not available.
Let me see if it's not muted. Basanda, unmute yourself. Yes.
Hi, Alban. Hi, Prof.
Hi.
I keep on breaking in this connection of mine. So I'm trying to sort it out.
Okay.
What are you saying?
If you can introduce the Unisa Entrepreneurship Program who is taking part today.
Look, I'm supporting Yongama. So one of the programs is under Yongama. That's I don't have the details at the moment of that Unisa project.
Okay, maybe later you can introduce with Yongama. Is someone from TUT? Training University of Technology? No, okay, let's proceed with Baobab. The Baobab. I see Jean-Luc or Nkululeko or Jean-Luc. Here.
Nkululeko, would you like to introduce it or can I? Oh, I think Alban, as a representative of Baobab, we are part of the Makerspace Incubator and that Baobab runs out of. And Nkululeko and I are coaches on behalf of Baobab. And my name is Jean-Luc Kernet, and very much looking forward to today.
Thank you, Jean-Luc. Chimolo Ong.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi,
my name is Mia. I'm representing Tshimologong Digital Innovation Precinct. We are hosted in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. We are the WITS incubator. And what Tshimologong is an intersection of hardware development, software development, and digital content. And we are wholly owned by WITS University, but we exist off campus, so we are accessible to both WITS and the greater public. Thanks so much. In the team with me today, it's myself from the Makerspace. It's Natalie Mahamate, who is our community manager. It is Kwezi Nenda, who is our enterprise manager, and also Nokotula, who is part of the enterprise development team. She is a project coordinator. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mia. And we have DUT, with a D, the Urban University of Technology.
Yes.
Professor Motan.
Okay. Yeah, let me see if Professor Moyo is here. Prof, you muted. This is the language that we are talking nowadays. Okay. All right, then I'll take it maybe it's in the other meeting. My name is Kiu Muntaung. I'm the Director for Technology Transfer and Innovation, but again, I'm also—
Sorry, I'm here, Professor Mutaung. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. Please introduce the team. Thank you. Over to you, boss.
Yeah, so I'll introduce myself. So first of all, I am Sibu Moyo. I don't know how we are doing the introduction, but I'm Sibu Moyo. I'm the DVC Research Innovation and Engagement at DUT. And then in our team, we have Professor Mutaung, who's the Director, Technology Transfer and Innovation, and is definitely our leader in the group. So Prof. Mutaung, can I hand over to you to introduce the rest of the team? Thank you. I know what you were trying to do.
I didn't. Thank you so much. In the midst, we also got Ergonomics, which we just launched it 2 weeks ago, Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, where we are incubating our postgraduate students and undergraduate students, actually all the students at the university. We start from ideation, pre-incubation, incubation, and post-incubation. So in the team, I have Nontogozo Ngobo, who is the manager for Ergonomics Midlands. When you think of Ergonomics Midlands, one of the things that must always come into your mind when you go, it must just be agriculture. We are extremely good in incubation when it comes to agriculture. That, no doubt about it. Now, we've also got Lana and Brady, who is also in charge of the Enectors in Devon, under the Enectors as well, where they actually training in terms of entrepreneur, basically leadership that's supposed to happen. Then we've got Mr. Solomon Yamurima from also Ergonomics, for they mainly focus on social enterprise as well, and training as well, social entrepreneur. And then the Devon Midland, sorry, the Ergonomics Devon. When you think of Devon, Ergonomics in Devon, fashion, that's where fashion is coming from. Our students are extremely good when it comes to fashion, from leather, from jewelry, from everything that you can think of. Thank you so much. That's us from the Devon University of Technology, Etequeen. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. And we have H7 with the Servier team, 3 people from the Servier. You get bravo, Professor Motan.
Hello, this is Itian from H7.
Okay. Hi.
And we are a startup accelerator based in Casablanca. We support different startups in different stages of development. We support startups from different sectors as well, from the ideation phase to their acceleration phase. I mean, we enable them to develop their ideas to concepts, to MVPs, and then this is in the ideation phase, and then in the incubation and acceleration phase, we support them to launch their startups in the market. And with me there is Basma Azouzi, and who is a program associate as well, and she will be attending all the sessions, all the sessions.
And you have also people from Servier, Morocco. Maybe we can have a little hello from one of them. You are three ladies from Servier.
Yes, the Servier team just has joined. They are trying to connect.
Hello,
okay.
hello, Alban.
Okay. Hi.
We are here.
Okay. You want to introduce maybe with short introduction from the Servier Morocco?
We are waiting to understand well the program. So
you want to introduce? Can you introduce Servier Morocco in a few words, please?
Yes, Servier Morocco is it's a pharmaceutical company.
mainly well implemented in cardiology and diabetes. Yes, cardiovascular disease. Oncology. We are starting in oncology. Yes, you can
okay.
say some words, Fouzia, if you want.
Okay. We cannot hear you. I think it's okay. We just to introduce what is Servier in Morocco. So thanks a lot. Is someone from the UNISA here to introduce the UNISA, University of South Africa? Someone from UNISA and TUT? One coach from UNISA or Trinity University of Technology? No, not yet. Yongama. Okay, so we'll proceed now to the team, the BlueOcean team and mentors. Just if someone from Veolia here, Chad or Brick. Okay, so here you can see on the platform you have here our profiles. So I will let Jason and George introduce themselves. They are here. Maybe Jason, you want to start from the BlueCity?
Sure. Yeah. Jason Hunter here, BlueCity, and yes, American. I think I've met quite a number of you in South Africa already, but not the startups. Look forward to working with you. Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. George?
Good morning. I'm George Deepen, lead the Stefano app. And Jason and I have been working since 2000 on BlueOcean value innovation. So I'm looking forward to this exercise. And I'm Indian, but I've lived in France since '74. I'm currently in India, though.
Thank George. So me, Alban, I'm also BlueOcean strategy practitioner for more than 10 years and created the BlueOcean Awards in 2014, and also this BlueCity organization with the programs with Jason. We call it BlueCorners. So we have already deployed this BlueCorners in France with 500 students. It was George and Jason on board too. And we had also 20 coaches. But the first time we have it in South Africa. So we are very glad to start with your incubators and entrepreneurship programs. We'll have also in the mentor team and coaches, we'll have Nathanael and Stefan. Nathanael will be more later in the business support to let you think about the business, to challenge you on the business. And Stefan is a professional investor. He's here. He will be supporting you in the pitch training session. So a little later also. And we'll have Hendrik and Chad. I don't know if Hendrik or Chad are here. I don't see them. Maybe they are not yet available. But they will be supporting you in the prototyping. They are from Veolia, expert in water management and in mechanics and chemistry for Chad. They will be supporting you when you will be looking for feasibility, when you'll be thinking about the feasibility on your project. And they will be also supporting you after the program when you have been selected by the final jury to prototype for the experimentation and prototyping. Okay, so let's start now. We'll give the floor to the municipalities who are here. So I know City of Chone is here with Isaiah and Chapeau. I saw also. Do we have other municipalities like from Joburg or from Durban who are here? Or please let us know. So let's start with the City of Chone. Isaiah, the floor is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Morning. Yeah, I'm muting myself. Yeah, good morning again. Alba, thank you. Yeah, I'm on the platform with my colleagues as well. There's, like you said, Tato's on the platform, as well as Sipo, I think.
Hi, Sipo. And, feel free to share your video, Isaiah, if it's working, if you have enough connection.
Yeah, okay. Let me do that.
So from my side, we are very always glad to see you.
No, thank you. So I think, Alba, what you have asked is that we just maybe touch on some of the challenges that we face with as a municipality. And look, what I'll be sharing or touching on is nothing new here. I think it's not unique to our municipality. I would imagine if Joburg and eThekwini would come on board, they would have more or less the same challenges. But also beyond the municipalities, these challenges are quite general, if I can call it that. I call on my colleagues Tato and Sipo, please, just to jump in at any moment if you want to add. But really, in a nutshell, some of our challenges include the following. Number one is we find that we have
Isaiah, you have been disconnected. We don't hear you anymore. Isaiah, we have lost you. Pity. Maybe you can reconnect. Try to connect again. Or maybe Tato or Zippo, if you can hand over. Tato or Zippo, are you here? Isaiah, you are back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Can you hear me clearly now?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so, and with being able to collect more revenue or what's due to us, we also need to manage our costs. Our cost base become less expensive in delivering services. But I think there's also another opportunity in terms of new revenue streams. So yes, we have our legislated service delivery categories that we operate in, but I believe there could be new opportunities for new revenue streams. And of course, there would have to be policy adjustments as well. So I'm just announcing my colleague Sipo is with me in the room, so he may jump in now and then. Then the issue of water, and it's good to see that there are a few water experts participating. And for instance, at the launch of the Blue Ocean Corner, I had a very interesting conversation with a colleague from Veolia. And he was asking, so what water challenges do we have? And one example is that we have not only the city of Tshwane, but across South Africa, there's water losses through leakages. And that's really loss of revenue directly. So finding ways to deal with those things, I think would really add a lot of value in terms of improving our service delivery. But we're also looking at scaling what's called water harvesting, capturing rainwater, etc., so that we don't really lose so much water in the system and we actually can use more of the water that we capture, etc. But water at large, I mean, most of us on the platform would know that the typical challenges we face when it comes to water, its scarcity, as well as losses. That's a big one. I know a while back, the figure in the city of Tshwane was around 28%, and we're working to reduce that number, which is 28% is quite high, But as I'm saying, we're working very hard to reduce that number. Then the issue of waste management. There's quite a few areas, challenges, and then maybe areas where we tend to do okay and well. But if one looks at waste collection in itself, it is quite expensive. You can imagine the workforce and the logistics involved in collecting waste. And that's how it's structured, so it has to be done. But if we're able to improve recycling, maybe even at a household level, and maybe reuse some of the material, we can maybe use the volume of the waste that has to be collected. But so I'm saying there's opportunity in optimizing waste collection. Some of us on the platform would also know that landfills are filling up and closing. So typically, even the waste that we collected, we're running out of sites to actually go and dump the waste. So we really need solutions in that space. We have seen as part of our innovation program where people would come in and say, how can we use the waste that's already on landfill sites, maybe to package it and using it for fuel, with generating energy. And these solutions has to be packaged appropriately so that we can pilot and test them in the city. I think our responsibility with the innovation team would really to work with some of the entrepreneurs on the platform and do what we can to assist them to pilot these solutions in the city so that we can demonstrate the value and hopefully scale some of the initiatives. Then there's the area of energy and electricity, which largely, when I refer to it as energy or electricity security. Alba and Jason was recently in the country, and I think they had the experience of what we call load shedding, which is a significant challenge. It has an impact on everything. So what solutions can we come up with? Maybe some examples of what we're looking at. We're investigating a project now around utility scale energy storage. Now, this will not generate new electricity per se, but at least it will allow us, if the project is viable, to have utility scale energy storage solutions, for instance, batteries, where whenever there's load shedding, we can tap into, on a utility scale level, into these batteries to make sure that there's still electricity security at household and even commercial level. We find that energy storage then can also assist us with time of use tariffs, how much we pay for electricity. So it's possible then to buy electricity when the cost is lower, store it, and then use it instead of buying at its peak. So those kind of solutions would really be welcome. We are in what's called the energy or electricity transition. And some of you would have seen the discussions, I think, earlier, a couple of weeks ago at COP26, and where South Africa was once again in the spotlight. And there's a large amount in the forms of loans and grants that would come our way, really to accelerate this transition to renewable energy, even to the point of electric vehicles. And I think all of this really breeds significant opportunities for us as innovators to not only come up with the solutions, but to put together these businesses that will actually offer these new services. And I often say this, that we shouldn't be in some of these challenges. I've cited some examples. I think it was to you, Jason, that in my time at Eskom back in the day, we already had what was called at the time a virtual power station, which functioned, instead of megawatts, it functioned on what was called negawatts, the opposite of a megawatt. So whatever people saved or could give back into the grid when load shedding is required would form part of this virtual power station. At one point, I think it was 4,000 megawatts, which is the equivalent of more or less one power station. Unfortunately, it was never fully implemented, but at this stage, we urgently need such solutions actually to take us forward. And the continent is quite rich with renewable energy solutions. We really just need to accelerate them. And I think one point that's quite exciting with this Blue Ocean Corner program is it will really help us to package these solutions into hopefully viable businesses that we can actually implement and really make a significant dent into some of the challenges that we are faced with. Community safety is a very important theme for us. We've done some projects in that space as well, developed apps, and the colleagues on the platform could share some more information with anyone interested in that. Agriculture, the area of food security is quite an important one at community level. And hopefully, I think there'll be some colleagues from via UNISA dealing with urban farming, the area of rooftop farming, which is, well, maybe not new, but new to us, where some of our entrepreneurs now have started with farms on rooftop buildings, but generally in the city, saying that there can be new revenue streams, but also helping them to become farmers and secure food security. Perhaps before I end off our bar, I'll just mention the area of health is quite important. We all have detailed background around COVID challenges we faced with, but generally health is quite important to a municipality, and there are significant challenges. The area of housing as well. I think affordable housing would be interesting to see if there could be some solutions in that space. Many of us are quite familiar with some of the housing challenges we have. And so really the point is to just open up some of these points for discussion as we venture and go into the day. And would also like to hear your thoughts on some of these. I think what I didn't say around waste management, and Sipho just remind me, is that we need to formalize waste management in terms of formal and informal recycling. Some of you would remember at the launch where I said that I met someone in the gym that tells me he's got around 1,000 waste recycling people working for him, and they collect around 15 tons a day. He says, yes, they use it, but there's so much more users with that 15 tons a day with the plastics, etc. But they don't have enough applications to actually use the recycled material for. So we really need to look at formalizing that. As I end off, in the area of economic development, job creation, it's a huge challenge for us as a city, as a country at large. So from an economic development point of view, I guess this is overall what the Blue Ocean Corner program and the awards program is about. But we have to ensure that our entrepreneurs set up these businesses, pilot them, scale them, so that we can actually create more jobs and have an impact on economic development and even attract investment to the city. Our responsibility as cities, as my last point, is that we have to create the platforms to enable many of the entrepreneurs or anyone participating in this ecosystem so that these challenges can actually be implemented and really flow into value, ultimately then have a significant impact on service delivery. It is not easy. The rules of engagement are not always clear. There's a lot of dependencies in the system, but I think the commitment from our side would be that we will really do what we can to assist anyone when the project is ready to see if it can be tested or piloted, and whichever way we can work with you. From our side, we'll do our best to do that. I think I'll maybe leave it there, Alba, to just as a high-level overview. I'm not sure if Tato, you have something to add before I hand over to Alba.
Thanks, Azar. Morning, colleagues. No, Azar, I think you've said a mouthful. I think we'll take questions as and when they come. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Alba, back to you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Isaiah. So I can remind Tato, Isaiah, you are the innovation department of the City of Chone. Isaiah, you are the executive director of this innovation department. So if there are some questions from the entrepreneurs and coaches for Isaiah and Tato and their team regarding just what Isaiah just shared, if you want to react or ask question, please proceed. You can open your micro and ask your question. But the hot topics, yeah?
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
Thank you for that presentation. My name is Kwezi from Tumologong. One of the questions I need to just understand is that in our previous engagement with some of the municipalities around the incorporation of innovation, is the fact that there are procurement processes. And so it then becomes difficult to sometimes even pilot some of these innovations in municipal infrastructure. Have you given some thought around, or do you guys have policies at the City of Tshwane around how to go about your current procurement processes of bringing various services or products into the ecosystem with the need to move quickly when it comes to issues of acceleration and possibly not go the traditional procurement processes? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Tato, do you want to kick it off or shall I?
No, thanks. Thanks, I'll take a stab at it. Colleagues, I think how we've managed at least to implement some of the pilots. We have relationships with some of the incubators, e.g. the Innovation Hub. So what we do is, because we've got standing MOUs, we will, for example, identify an innovator, an entrepreneur that has a solution that can assist the city, work through the solution with the city and take them through various committees in the city to request for permission to implement the pilot. So once it's received backing or a buy-in from the Innovation Steering Committee and EXCO, we then engage with Innovation Hub, even, for example, Innovation Hub, even pre-discussion with the relevant committees. And once we both conclude that the solution is fit for purpose, they do the incubation and they handle, we pilot through them. So, for example, we would send an allocation, resources to the Innovation Hub. With the Innovation Hub will also contribute, and the partner, for example, will also contribute. Then we do pilot through that stages. One that assists us to almost deal with some of the bureaucracies. Where, for example, I know where we can't necessarily pilot outside, for example, the incubators, we currently forming an interdepartmental committee of sort that will look at ways of how to navigate such. Because one, the issues of transparency and giving other innovators an opportunity to possibly pilot similar projects. So that's the one difficulty that we are dealing with. But I know MMC or finance had also indicated their willingness, or at least from the admin side and political leadership side, to see how going forward we can implement some of these innovators without necessarily experiencing some of the challenges that are placed on us by the MFMA. But generally, we do our piloting in partnership with the incubators, so that makes it easy to bypass some of these MFMA backlogs or other hurdles. Thanks.
No, thanks, Tato. I think you've said everything. Perhaps I'll just say that, like Tato was explaining, we pilot, but yeah, even with successful pilots, it's very difficult for us to implement because of the challenge that you've raised, Kwezi. But I think what I can say is that from a supply chain point of view, in terms of adopting localized technologies, it's getting attention at the national level, science and innovation, as you may know, to see how we can actually just change the rules.
Isaiah, we have lost you.
Of engagement, fix that. It will be of a use.
Isaiah, it was frozen. The audio was frozen for some.
Oh, was it frozen? Okay.
Just 30 seconds ago. Yeah.
Okay, let me just. No, I was just coming in after Tato saying that he explained clearly how we work, and I was just raising the point to say, with even many of our successful pilots, we are unable to directly adopt or implement them because of the MFME challenges as outlined by Tato. But nonetheless, many of those entrepreneurs leave the city and they're able to scale their businesses or even implement at other municipalities or beyond the borders of South Africa. And I just indicated to Kwesi saying that the challenge that she's raising from a supply chain point of view, it is a real challenge because we have to find ways to actually support locally developed solutions, especially. And but the problem is getting attention, I know, at Department of Science and Innovation. I'm not sure when we'll have clear direction on how it will be addressed, but I do agree with you, Kwesi. If we can find ways from a supply chain point of view to get contracts to some of our entrepreneurs that come through processes like these, it would have a huge or significant impact on economic development. Thanks.
Thank you, Isaiah. Just would like to point here, we had some question in the chat about this. So first point, it's you as entrepreneurs in this program and with the support of your coaches, you will be in charge of finding new businesses. It does not mean new services for the cities, because innovation, usually it comes from the people, from the citizens, from the companies who are clients or want all the people who need the service, the new offering you are proposing. So the objective is not to have you delivering new services for the city and contracting with the cities. That's not the objective. We need to be very clear about that. The objective is to create new businesses with a positive impact on the territory, on each of these three, City of Tshwane, Joburg, eThekwini. And the cities, they agreed, and that's a commitment, that's why they are here and that's why we need them. They agreed to support you as much as they can. That's the deal we have with them. There will be stakeholders in the final jury, and they are engaged to support and to propose experimentation to all the projects they like, all the projects they validate as in key and with a positive impact for their population. They will help you as much as they can, but they will not be contractors, or maybe, but it will be cherry on the cupcake. Your objective is first to find clients, to find what we call non-users, and to propose them the offerings they need, the new offerings they need, the new innovation you have to find for them. And if you find that, all will be on the good way, all will be the good track. And maybe you will contract with the city, but it's not your objective. Is to contract first with clients, with customers. Okay, it can be citizens, it can be companies, private companies. Okay, maybe Jason, you want to add something about that? Key.
I think you captured it perfect.
Yeah. Okay. And George, of course, feel free to interact. Yeah, of course. So we about Joburg and eThekwini, they will join us maybe later. As you know, it was elections, municipality elections recently in South Africa. So the teams are not yet already, but they are part of the process, and they will join us. And some teams like City of Tshwane, there will be coaches. They want to be trained also for themselves, so they will be directly involved with you as coaches. So so thanks a lot to City of Trony, Isaiah and Tato for your sharing. It was very clear. These topics, these hot topics, Isaiah and Tato has shared with you, entrepreneurs, you will need them to define your perimeters, what we call industry perimeter, where you want to innovate, where you want to create, to bring a new value. We'll see that just after. So here's some reminders about the program, and let's get ready to start. As you know, it's supported, this program, by TI, Technology Innovation Agency. TI need to have maximum of incubators in South Africa, able to support, to coach, to train their entrepreneurs, you, in the market creation, to bring new value services in the city. That's all the objective we have here of this program. Here are the key partners of the program. So you can see TI, the French Embassy in South Africa, of course, the cities, the 3 cities, municipalities, and your incubators. And Veolia will be supporting you in the prototyping. Maybe we have here Chad or Erdrick who will join us, maybe. That's it, from Veolia. I don't know if you are here. Okay, maybe they will join us later and they can introduce themselves. So here are the where all this program is structured, and the key 6 steps you will be following. So first step, it's training with your incubator coaches. The objective is to have your coaches in charge and managing you, entrepreneurs, directly. But for that, we need to train them just a little in advance. So they all have prepared and been trained to the workshop you are doing in the main session. Second step, it's what we are starting now. It's a visual awakening and go exploration. So visual awakening, this workshop will start today in the afternoon. And we will continue and finalize this visual awakening at the next session we'll have. It will be in 2 days. No, it will be, sorry, 20, let me check. Yeah. It will be 20, don't remember. Yeah, okay. So next step, it will be exploration. It will be 1 month from the 9th of December to January. You will be conducting interviews with what we call the non-users, people who are currently excluded from the services. Step 4 will be ideation and creation of your strategy. And step 5 will be the final city jury. So these cities, they will be stakeholders and decide which projects they want to support in the experimentation. And of course, even if you are not selected to experimentation, it does not mean you stop the project. You will be also supported in the prototyping by Veolia engineers, by us, to continue your project. And step 6, it's 6 months expert hotline support will deliver to the incubators to have a follow-up and to be able to totally train them and bring them the skills of production strategy. Okay. The structure for all our main sessions, it's the same. Maybe before that, I will just jump on the platform. If you are joining us on the platform, you can see here the dash. You have several parts. You have five parts on the tab on the left. The dashboard, you can see, you can join your group. Normally you have all a group regarding your incubator. And you can see here the speakers. So soon you will have our web or direct, you can send a message to us you can also reach everybody joining here in the session on people here, the people tab, and you have also a chat, a general chat for. And the agenda here, you have all the session on the 2 tabs, main sessions, first tab and second tab, learning sessions with the coaches. And you can also add, here you click on add to calendar, and it can be added to your agenda. But normally you have all received all the invites by email, but just check. So next main session will be on 26, in 2 days. 26, we will finalize this visual awakening. You will be starting today in the workshop time. So all the main session will be all structured the same. It's always the morning from 9 to 12, principles and cases we share with you, and workshop brief by us, by the BlueCity Ocean team. And then from 12 to 4, you are working in the workshop with your own coaches. They have a support, they have a WhatsApp group where they can contact Jason, George, and all the coaches directly. We'll be visiting, if you need some visit from us, your groups, jumping from one group to another one. And we'll be all meeting at 4 p.m. Each main session will be the same. We'll meet all at 4 p.m. for a collective intelligence session, where all the group will be able to share what they have done, which issues they have faced, what they have understood, and so to be sure that everybody is on the track. Okay. Do we have some question? Feel free to ask. Yeah, if any question, you can raise your hand about the structure of the main sessions, about each step of the program. And of course, I forgot to mention to you that the finalists at the step 5, all the finalists here will be automatically finalists of the second South African Blue Ocean Award. It means it will bring to you a very high visibility to investors, to international investors, to communication with Forbes magazine, with social network visibility. It means you will be directly very visible and accelerated. All is about acceleration. We have built this program to make you have all the leverages with the Blue Ocean tools to build the best opportunity business, and having the support of the city for experimentation, having the support of engineers for prototyping very fast, having the communication and visibility to investors, to potential other clients with the Blue Ocean Awards tool. It's a tool also for communication. So normally it should be in 6 months you can start and develop this business. So do we have some question here, or it's okay? We continue. No question. Okay, so let's be ready now to start. So first step to be ready, it's to select your industry perimeter. Isaiah just share with you for City of Chennai some hot topics they have, but you can also, of course, select the one you want. It's here some examples. It's not a limited list. You can add and select the perimeter you want. You just need to be at least 2 entrepreneurs in the same topics. You will be creating a team. You will have your own team on the platform with your own project. It means you need to be at least a team of 2 people. Ideally, it's 3. 3 is the best. 3 or 4, but minimum 2. And you need to synchronize with your coaches, with your incubator coaches, because each coach can be only a coach on one perimeter. They will be trained on that by us, but they cannot manage several perimeters. It would be too difficult to be trained. And second rule is 1 coach per minimum 2 entrepreneurs, and maximum 5 perimeters per incubator, okay, per organization. So select your team, select your industry perimeter. Here there are some perimeters have been named by the cities. Drinkable water, waste management, they are very hot topics, as Isaiah shared with you. It can be also energy. It was mentioned by Isaiah and Tato. Transportation, it can be tourism, maybe for Durban on the maritime coast. And healthcare, also healthcare, maybe for H7, can be with Servier, an industry perimeter. So second step, we have sent to you yesterday all the invite to join the main session. Yes, this is the list. Please check that you have all this invite in your agenda. It will be always the same Zoom link to join us here to talk for the conference system. And it will be all the work will be done on the working space platform you have registered normally. So please check. You can also see on the platform, you have all the list of the agenda part. You have all the sessions already here, and you can click on Add to Calendar to add it with the Zoom link to your agenda. If you don't have it already in your agenda, normally you have all received the invite, but maybe some emails can be blocked or. So there are 2 tabs. One tab is the main session for entrepreneurs and coaches, and second tab is the session only with the coaches. Okay. Mia asked, about if you cannot join some session. It's always, all the main sessions will be available on YouTube publicly. The link I've shared previously, and we'll remind it. It's always all available on the YouTube BlueOcean Awards channel. And the learning session with coaches, they are also available on YouTube as private video. Of course, the objective is to see here and BBOR. You can see here BBOR. You have all the project. The objective is to have all these boxes checked and to be ready with the project. With the coaches, with George, Jason will be, of course, having a look and following all the project here, and we can make some comments, react. The coaches are your internal coaches are in charge. That's you are free to manage each entrepreneur as you want. We propose this session in the afternoon because we are here. We are all here. We can share all our feelings and questions. But the objective is to stay on the track. If you are not available on this session, you have to plan another session only with your entrepreneurs to keep them on the track, because it can be a little challenging. So third step, it's here, check that you can access the platform, okay, the working space platform, Igesia. Normally you have all received by email your invitation to connect. If not, please let us know. And you can also contact Igesia directly with support at Igesia. Itumeleng asked about the perimeter. You are free to select the perimeter you want, but please, you need to synchronize and you need to share this choice with your coach, because each coach can be only on one perimeter. So it can be maximum 4 or 5 perimeters per organization. So to check. It cannot be 10 perimeters per organization. It would be manageable. Okay. And fourth step, it's when you, so do we have everybody here accessing the platform, just to be sure that all is okay? You can see here what I'm sharing now. It's okay. Do I have some people who cannot access yet the platform? Everybody is on the platform? It's okay. Just here you have the list on networking. You have the list of all the participants who are here registered on the platform, on the working space. Okay, M4, you are not yet. So please, M4, you need to register. We have shared the link several times. You received the invite. Yeah, I can remind you the link to register. Please proceed now. You need to be with us. M4, here is the link. So everybody here has to be joining. So now next step will be to create your own, to set your team details. So you can see on my screen here, when I go, you need to go on BBOR. This is a working space where we have all the project, and you click on add, this add button here. And you see here, I can create a new team, a new project with a team name. So it's the name of your team. It can be Chimolong, workers, or Chimolong, don't know, entrepreneurs from Taxnovation. Industry perimeter, this is here, the perimeter where you want to innovate. We have just shared some insight by City of Chennai. And participant group here, it's your organization. So you need to select here your organization. In this way, your coaches and your entrepreneurs from your organization, they will be able to see and to access your project. Okay. So we have, as we said, 5 organizations: Taxnovation, UNISA, TUT, and City of Chennai, Chimolong, and Baobab, and H7 plus Servi. So here you need to proceed, please. You need to create now, if you can create now your project, and you need to be at least two entrepreneurs. And as we said, 3 would be better. 3 entrepreneurs, 4, maybe 5, and so on, in the same team. Okay. If you want to have teams from different organizations, it's possible. You just need to write here the name of your colleague. So you need to share with the organization of your colleagues also. Okay, so your colleague will be able to. So if you want to mix Taxnovation or no, I think. No, it's not possible for now. Okay, let us know if you want to share, to be on mixing teams from different organizations. Let us know directly by chat, and we will make it possible. Okay, do we have question here? Yeah, we go into details now, but so you need to select the team name, industry perimeter, and your participants group, your organization. Is everybody able to create the project, to create this team? It's okay, no problems here to create the teams. for now. Yeah, I see H7 and Servier here. Also, H7, yeah, you can have several teams. Huh? As we said, it's one team. Well, it's one team project here per project. So when you are maybe 10 entrepreneurs, you will have 2-3 teams, because you will have. It's good to have 3 or 4 entrepreneurs per team, in my opinion. Can be 2, 1 is too few, it's not possible, but 2 is too few, but 3, 4, 5, it's maybe a little too much. Okay, I see Matnager, I see it's different. Okay, you are doing it. So now we will, I see a question from Kamogeleng. Do the coaches add, yeah, the coaches, they have access to each teams who are connected to your organization. All the organizations see the team from his organization. Okay, that's why it's very important when you create a project to add here the participant in the participant group, your organization. Here, if I create a team here and I select UNISA or Duxnovation, all the coaches and all the entrepreneurs from this organization will have access and see my project and can take part. Itumeleng, you ask a question about because we are all remote and do not in touch, we will be able to see who in our group has selected which parameter. Itumeleng, can you precise your question? I don't get it very clearly, sorry. Itumeleng? Itumeleng, can you open your micro?
So perhaps, Alban, I can help you. I think the question really is, are you able to see who is in your group? Because everybody's remotely, so there could be people from different cities in the group, and she's asking, are they able to see who's in their chosen group?
Yes, in the group, it's you see them here on the dashboard, and you see the group where you are member. So, and you can click here on open, and you see the list of group members for each organization. And sure, if maybe some of the participants don't have a group yet, you need to tell us, and we will proceed. Okay.
Is it Alban?
Yes.
I can see that Professor Muya has created a group, but when we want to click to that group, it doesn't take us to that group. What's the problem?
Okay.
Yes, the on that BBOA project.
Yes.
When you go there, it doesn't want to go back. You want to go and see that. Why? Yeah, it doesn't. This thing moves so fast. I thought it's because you were busy on the.
Tell me, what is the problem?
I can't access it. I can't access our group.
You cannot access our group?
The one that was just been created recently, an example.
With DOT, yeah, you see, you go on dashboard, on the dashboard here, and you have DOT here. You click on open, and you can see all the group members of DOT. You are here, Keo Motang, you are here. Yeah, if you want to start a group conference with all your group members, you click on join meeting, make you able. And on BBOR, when you create a new project, you see, for instance, DOT Innobiz, I see it's one created from your group. You can, yeah, if you want to, DOT here. Okay, it's the person who has created the group, who has created the group. the project is able to edit it if you want to change some information, and is able to share to other group or to share with everyone. If you want to share to another group, you can share, or to share if you want to make it visible to everybody, to all the participants. You can click on share and share with everyone. But only the creator, it's Sibu Siso Moyo. Only Sibu Siso Moyo is able to share to another group or to all the participants. Does it answer your question, Professor Motang?
Yes, yes, Alban.
Okay, good. Is everybody creating his group? Okay, I see it's on the way. Great. Okay. So now we will.
But can I check maybe from Prof. Mutang, are you able to open now to click on the group? Because I shared with everyone, so I don't know if it's working now.
Yes, I'm able to open.
Okay.
Good. So maybe now we will have a short pause. If you're okay, maybe 5 minutes pause. Okay, we take 5 minutes technical pause. We'll have a big pause, a little, in 1 hour. But let's take a short pause now, 5 minutes. It's 10:20. We'll come back at 25, 10:25. Good for you. And it gives you time to create your groups, your teams. Yeah, your teams here. See, it's on the way. It's going. Okay, so let's meet in 5 minutes. Just a short pause.
Hallo Zara. Kom je reg? Met die groep, ek weet nie hoe om die groep te vorm nie. Maar ek is, is 'n kleiner groep. En dan wat moet ek dan doen, man? Wat was dit wat hulle gesê het ek moet na die BBO toe gaan? Hulle het dan nou gesê dat in die breek moet 'n mens aan jou groep create.
Okay, so we are back. After this short pause, and we will directly continue here with the principles of the Blue Ocean strategy and some examples. Mia, yeah, you raise your hand. Yeah.
Hi, Alba. Sorry, just to check quickly, because we have such varying disciplines in the Timologong group. We're 4 coaches, but and 8 participants, but there's varying technology disciplines. We're obviously not creating 8 different groups. May I just quickly ask, can we start as a Timologong group, just to get everyone understanding how this is going to work, and then split off into new groups after there? And did I hear
you can create groups when you want.
Okay, did I hear you correctly that we cannot mix groups? So if there's an agri-tech or farming tech group with other universities or incubators, we can't mix and match?
No, you can, but you need to synchronize with them.
Synchronize.
You can propose to them, as I said, if you want to have mixing group from different organizations, it's possible. You need just to advise us, and because we maybe can face some technical problems, but they will be fixed, and it's possible. We can do it.
Okay. Yeah, this is just going a little bit fast. I don't think I have got it all sorted groups wise this quickly. So I might have to take some more time to just figure that out.
Yes. The point is the workshop we start now. This afternoon, it will be the first workshop. It's all this workshop work content. We will have to do it again with the new groups. You see, you start from the beginning when you create a new group.
Yeah.
That's the point. So if you already in mind the industry you want to address with your entrepreneurs, it's maybe better to create them from now. If it's not clear yet, you can also proceed later. But
just proceed with a Timologong group and then go from there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. I see some participants don't have yet a group. That's why you don't see the project. Maybe Judith, you send an email. Also Isaiah. So and Kamo Geleng, you ask if you can join a random group. No, it's not random. What do you mean exactly by random group, Kamo Geleng?
Sorry, I mean, if a group is created and you think you relate to that
we cannot
group.
hear you. Sorry, we cannot hear you.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me.
Yeah, it's very noisy.
Okay, I'll just type in the chat.
Okay. Lanaan, you raise your hand.
Yes, thank you, Alban. I just want to check with you. If the group is created, do I still have to go and join that group, or am I automatically part of that group?
Automatically, when you are in the same organization, you can access this group. Yeah.
Okay, so do I now still have to go and join a group, or am I just assumed to be part of the group that has already been created?
Yeah, you're already a member of the group who are created in your organization.
And then my second question is, do I have to be part of that group, or can I default and be part of another group?
No, everybody from the same organization are members of the group created with this organization.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody from the same organization can access any group created in this organization. So that's why it's very key to have your organization set. I see. Yeah. I see some people don't have yet their organization set. Caroline, do we have Caroline Matenchi? Yeah, please. Caroline, if you are here, please tell us. Matoke Faladi, are you here? Please let us know. Mfo Mofokeng also. Mfo Mofokeng and Matoke Faladi, please let us know in which organization you are. So you will be able to see the groups from your organization. Matoke, Mfo, and Caroline. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I was actually looking at the drop down there. I can't see our organization, so I'm not sure.
In which organization are you? Because you are not yet set. Don't have yet the organization. Need to know. In which one?
Matoke and myself are actually from WIPC, but I can't see that on the drop down.
Yeah, it's normal because you don't have yet an organization. It's not assigned. We need to know in which organization you are to assign you a group.
Oh, okay. We are from WIPC.
WIPC?
Yeah, I can't see it from the drop down. That's my problem.
No, WIPC is not. I don't know.
No. Sorry, if I can also just come in there. I'm also with Mpo. I think WIPC was arranged with City of Tshwane there.
Okay, City of Tshwane. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you are. So in that UT and City of Tshwane. Okay. Thanks. And now you will be able to see the groups created by your organization. Do we have other people who don't have a group, don't have an organization yet? So Caroline Matsati Matenchi, you are not here. We are still missing. Caroline, you're here. Nice to see you.
I'm sorry for that. I was tapping in the chat because I wasn't sure exactly which organization I felt under. I was from UNISA.
UNISA? You're from UNISA?
Yes.
Okay. No, you have your group, your organization. And we have also now just two people don't have an organization set yet. It's Matoke Faladi. Are you here, Matoke?
Oh yes, Faladi. I'm here. Yes? I just indicated that I was with Mpo with the City of Tshwane group.
Okay, good. Yeah, you are. It's done. You can see now. Okay. Do we have other people without an organization set? I see we are still don't have. I think it's all set. Yeah, everybody has a group. No, it's okay. Okay. So normally, when you are, as you said, in the same organization, you are able to see all the teams created in your organization. Okay. Is someone facing some issues? Or it's okay? Is everybody able to create his team? And when you create a team, don't forget to select here your organization, participant group, and you can share with other organization in the share button here. When you have created the team, you can click on share here. You can see here, and you can select another organization you want to share, or also you can share with everybody, with all the participants. Okay, so let's continue here. We'll share, Jason will introduce to you the principles of the Blue Ocean strategy. Yeah. With two cases, with the we case and BlueCity Case about tourism. Jason, the floor is yours.
So, welcome from a rather cold and rainy Valencia, Spain, which is very strange. Reflects my mood having to leave South Africa in such a short time too. So I'm just going to show you briefly, the big picture of what Blue Ocean strategy is. And I'm going to show you two cases of two different types of organizations that have applied Blue Ocean strategy and how they did it. The first one, the setting starts here in 1890 Japan. This company made games. That was their core competency. That is the focus on the essence of what playing games were. And of course, technology changes. So by the 1980s, early 1990s, everyone was playing video games. So this company made one of the most popular video games. The box we're talking about here. So the games as well, but we're really focusing on the video game box. And we began with looking at what we're going to begin with today, the visual awakening. With visual awakening, at number one, for companies or organizations that feel like they don't need to change, or that change is too hard and we can't do it. This gives the awakening of, oh, goodness, we have to change. Times have changed, the world is moving on. We're either not competitive anymore, or we're not serving the public anymore, or we're not teaching as well anymore, depending upon our three key stakeholders of public sector, the private sector, and academia. And more importantly, it creates this sense of, oh, these are our assumptions. Because for so long, for so many organizations, we jump into trying to do innovation, trying to do strategy without understanding the assumptions that we're competing on, or that we're working on. Because every organization, every organization I've worked with is a bit of a mess. It's kind of moving all over the place because nobody has the same idea of what they do, who they do it for, and how they do it. So this is what we're setting the baseline for. Breaking down to 3 steps, essentially. It's a very simplified version of Blue Ocean strategy, but we begin with the as-is strategy canvas in the visual awakening. And this tells you whether you, again, are public sector or private sector, everything you need to know about your strategy in one picture, because pictures speak 1,000 words. So you have your key competitive factors on the bottom. This one's for a chair. Let's say, of course, as we said before, price always comes first. So your price, if you're in the public sector, would be essentially how much you're charging in taxes. If we want to make it very simple. Then what are we putting money on? Ergonomics, product range, craftsmanship, comfort, et cetera, et cetera. So the x-axis is what you're spending money on to create utility for customers. Then we have our offering. So this is how much we believe we offer. So this is generally our price, what we believe our price is relative. High price is high, low price is low, the only absolute element. We spend money on ergonomics, the product range, et cetera, et cetera. Then we put our competitors' offering, or here it could be, if you're a city, what another city does, that cities do compete actually. And so you'll see that there's differentiation here. So the competitors are just better at craftsmanship, but at a lower price, for example. And it tells you everything you need to know. So here, this company began with, how does the game console industry attract customers? Well, they go to this kid, they go to the 10-year-old. What do you want, kid? And of course, the kid's going to tell you a million things because kids just want more buttons, more graphics, more violence, more speed, et cetera, et cetera. And at the time, the two main competitors to our case company was Microsoft and Sony. They had the money to just say, okay, kid, we'll give you everything you want. So this was the one snapshot of how Microsoft and Sony PlayStation were competing. They always ended up coming back together because this is what competitive strategy is. Competitive strategy says you cannot change the x-axis. These are all fixed. You can just move up in a binomial way, higher or lower on each. So this is what happens when two big companies are competing head to head. One will differentiate, like here, Microsoft differentiated on online games. Well, Sony PlayStation is just going to come back up because it's always like, we've got to get as good as Microsoft. It's a very fixed game. It's a very zero-sum game. So our company, our little company, who was pushed out of the market almost, where could they enter here? They didn't have the money to spend, to have high on everything. They could go low on everything, just have very low price, low graphics, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, it's not a market they could survive in. So where do they enter? Well, here we start understanding, let's not jump to conclusions yet of how to innovate. Let's see how we're pushing people away from our market. Let's see how we're creating non-customers. So look at the buyer experience cycle, buyer utility map. So here, traditionally, we look at the guy on the right. What's his buyer journey? What is his pain points? We do that, we find out interesting things, but it doesn't really give us a lot. So you find out a lot more information if you go to the woman on the left, the non-customer. See all of her pain points of searching, comparing, purchasing, setting up, playing video games. They're huge. They're actually high pain points because her threshold for pain is very low. They're oftentimes the same pain points as the core customer, but the core customer wants the game so much that they just put up with it. And here we found biggest non-customers for our video game, elderly people and very young people. So there you had enormous pain points. So here we'll be going into this a bit later, but who are your non-customers? What is their buyer experience cycle? And where are their pain points? We'll go deeper into each of these tools later. So we're able to understand their pain points. We can reduce our cost structure because they don't need a lot of the speed, buttons, et cetera, it brings down our cost structure. At the same time, we reduce pain points for both the non-customer and the non-customer. So how do we raise value enormously? Here we use what we call the 6 paths. This is understanding non-customer behavior. Where are they turning to? So here we ask, what is, again, very simplified version today. We'll go deeper into it later. But what are the alternatives they turn to? Most importantly, why do they turn to them? This gets at the core, the baseline principles of utility that they turn to. So let's just look at the elderly population. Well, they turn to gardening. Okay, that's the alternative. Why? It's outdoor, it's social, it's intuitive. And they like to play games still. People think that non-customers aren't competitive like video game players. They are. They want competition when they play cards or other games like that. They want the social aspect. They want the intuitive aspect. They play golf. Why? Oh, it's outdoor, it's physical, it's intuitive, it's competitive. So we start seeing these patterns of where non-customers are going to. And we ask, well, how can we recreate that utility? And utility is just a fancy word for saying, I get something from it. And it's a function of value. Value equals utility minus price. So I get something from it. We'll come back to price. And then we move to pull it all together. And again, very simplified version, but this is the essence of what we're getting at. And this is somewhat of a design thinking perspective, but we begin with what's desirable. Want something intuitive, competitive, social, family friendly. Then what's feasible? How can we make this feasible? Well, this company looked to auto parts, which are commoditized, cheap, easy to find. So let's take the technology of an infrared sensor bar. The thing that goes beep, beep, beep. The accelerometer, which makes your car start braking better, it vibrates, and the Bluetooth. All of these readily available. Then we start recombining. We don't need this much graphics, speed, internet. What can we reduce to bring down the cost structure and reinvest it somewhere else? And then we add the desirable factors and then launch. This created the Nintendo Wii. A fraction of the price of the other devices. It was something you just pick up and figure out how to play. It's small enough to be in your living room and it's not so ugly. And this will come back to later. And this is, again, a very simple tool, but it forces us to take action of what do we stop doing? What do we eliminate? The most difficult aspect of Blue Ocean strategy. What do you stop doing? What do you do a little bit less? Because we're over-serving. What do we raise to differentiate against the current offering? And then what do we create that's all new? And again, people think the create is the most important part, but actually it's the eliminate which is the most difficult and often the most important. And this is their 2B strategy canvas. You see in the blue, the Wii it's focused. This is what they're saying no to on the lower left. So it brings down your cost structure, brings down your pain points often. You can move that investment to what you raise and create. And this is where you're differentiated. And so the video console industry thought we're the best in the world. We're doing high on everything. Well, spending a lot of money on every factor isn't always the best strategy because you're stuck competing head to head. So first point, don't mistake the menu for the meal. Meaning that if you're trying to create a great meal, don't stick to the menu. We're trying to create as many ingredients as possible so we can recombine them. You shift your focus from customers to non-customers. This is where you get your insights from. It's that extraordinary imagination moving towards extraordinary realism. It is really about creating what is the plausible impossible, as Disney said. You have to gain that creative competence and confidence. This is what you'll be doing through this project. The more competence you have in taking an exploratory view on creation of policy, of creation of new products and services, you gain the confidence to do so. Don't always believe that creating higher value means having a higher cost. This is what we're always trying to break, because there's always things that we just are overdoing. There's always these legacy budget line items that we just leave in, that we can take those away. And that's a brief private sector one. Now, very quickly, one that we worked on early in the pandemic was the future of destination travel. And travel is coming back, but it's not going to be the same anymore. That's the big picture. That's really, really the big picture. And so we're looking at, what are the key factors that are going to have to happen in the future of travel? It's going to have to be embracing the non-customer, because there's still many, many more non-customers in the world than there are customers, especially in distance travel, destination travel. Over 95% of people have never flown on a plane in the world. So this is what we have to think of. Again, our strategy canvas, I'm not going to go back into it. And so this one, looking at destinations, and of course you can see the key competitive factors. We're looking at what are the key competitive factors of the place, cities that want to attract people, because cities are really competing against each other. They spend a lot of money here in Valencia, for example, to try to get people to not go to Barcelona or not go to Florence or not go to Lisbon, to bring them here. So they spend money on these key competitive factors. You can see this one really focused on the accommodation, infrastructure, etc., but it makes it more difficult. And this is a real one of the real countries or destinations that we worked with, but it's hard to get to with visas. The culture isn't very unique. The exchange rate is not very enticing. And their competitor, naturally, they weren't so great on the infrastructure and flight connections and all of that, but they're really great at creating a unique experience. Is one right and one wrong? No, but one needs to start understanding how these two cities are competing, just for the reality of it. Really quickly on the non-customers, we have to continue to compete, both as cities, both as universities, and both as entrepreneurs. But at the same time, we always have to have a sense of creation. We're always having to just recreate ourselves over time. And this requires exploration. And the two combined, that's true growth strategy, or what I call strategic fitness. You always have to, eat healthy defend your body, your fitness, and at the same time, you've got to exercise by continuously exploring. The first one, the red ocean strategy, it's common sense. Common sense is great, we need it. At the same time, the only way to grow outside of a static environment, when you're caught and you're feeling like, oh, there's nothing we can do, the only way you can get out of that is by uncommon sense. The colleague Jules Goddard calls uncommon sense. This is the sense that makes sense, but nobody's thought of it yet. In every Blue Ocean strategy and initiative, we always have somebody say, why didn't anybody think of that? This is what we're looking for here. It's a shift, small shift in what we're doing and recombining it so that the market says, wow, that's amazing. But actually internally, it is still within our wheelhouse, but it's just adding that. We're going to go into non-customers a lot more in the next session, but here's our beloved core customer. This is who we love. They love us. So the Venn diagram of what we offer and what they need is basically the same. Then we got a compromising customer. If they found something better, they'd go to the alternatives. Then we have the refusing customers that, yeah, I know you, I don't like you. So in our destination city, yeah, I know that city, I don't like it, I don't want to go to it. And then we have the most interesting ones of all, the forgotten customer or the overlooked customer. This is the majority of people in the universe, because we don't think about them, they don't think about us. This is the one we're really going to be going after to learn from and possibly even bring into our market. So the further you go, the further you explore, the more you know. And the quality of the insight increases with the relative distance from home. It's creating that psychological distance to free ourselves. We're still grounded, but to free ourselves to start making choices. It's insights from the outside. It gives us that ability to take a very fresh look at who we are. And we'll come back to this again. This in Blue Ocean strategy parlance. We have first-year non-customers. These are ones who are okay with you, but if they found something else, they'd move. Second tier, they know you, you know them, they're refusing. And the third tier, again, the biggest group, they're the ones who you don't know them, they don't know you. This is the elderly people in the video game. You don't consider each other, but there's a lot to learn from each other. So here, if we're looking at going back to our destination, city and travel, there's a lot of non-customers. There's people who go family holiday, they resort goers. There's a whole lot of kind of tier one, but they go to different places for different reasons. Some are, they want to go to a cruise ship. Other ones, they want to go backpacking. Other ones, they want to learn about stuff. Others just want a relaxing package or spa tour. We go a little further out and see why. Why do they turn to these things? Well, it's basically, they don't want to go anywhere. They want to learn something. They love nature more than a cruise. They want to stay home and play video games. Music, then they work from home. And we look at the Instagrammer. So this is this kind of closer it's just, this is ones that's not choosing a package tour. They turn to other things, especially during the pandemic. They were turning to, looking at videos, home exercise, what have you. Culture vulture, instead of traveling to Iceland to taste the latest in Icelandic cooking. Oh, they watched a television show, they went on the internet, did Zoom events, went to museums. And the recharge of the person who wants to recharge, go to a spa. Well, locally, they would turn to things as meditation, online exercise, etc., etc. And then the why, this is where we start looking at the patterns. There's a lot of patterns on unlimited, it's educational. These are the utility levers we want to bring back into our offering. So it's a very simple process, and we'll get into this much deeper later, but who are our non-customers? What are they turning to? Most importantly, why are they turning to that? Then we bring these insights back into our offering. And here, what we found is, if we take our as is, start having our insights, well, we'll eliminate long distance travel because nobody can really do it during the pandemic. Forget the accommodation, visa requirements, bring down the price, bring down the travel, create a connection and curated experience, raise the community of people within your tribe, so to speak, of what you are, Instagrammer, homebody, what have you. And then we apply the grid. What do we eliminate? What do we reduce? What do we raise? What do we create? And this was essentially how we started playing with it, how we started playing with different destination travel, tourism. I can't give the details, of course, because, well, still bound by contracts, but I'll give you a little bit of an insight with one Caribbean island. They're trying to attract people to their island. And so this is their as is, very high on physical licensing, high on attorney hire, high on red tape. Approval time took a long time. Wasn't so difficult to research. Customer service wasn't great, and they didn't really have great marketing either. So it's pretty, not great on many levels. But applying Blue Ocean strategy, we gained insights not just from other destination places, we gained insights from those who didn't travel, we gained insights from the financial sphere. And again, can't go into the details so much, but just by applying these insights, looking at who we are, the visual awakening, looking at how we're creating non-customers, bringing down our cost structure, bringing down the pain points. Then we looked outside to other destination places, to other alternatives, staying at home, going on Instagram, what have you. Then we understood what to raise and create. And the takeaways, again, it's about resiliency. It's that strategy. It's a continuous exercise. We're never looking for moonshots. Each team here in Blue Ocean Corners should be creating a portfolio of strategic options. Some things we do today, some things we do tomorrow, some things we do in 5 years, some things we do in 10 years. It's higher value, lower cost. And the reference here on Airbnb and Zoom, that really just applies to travel. So that is a rather quick introduction to the big picture. I just want to give you the big picture now because we're going to go into the details. But just to give you a little appetizer of where we're going. And that is our brief introduction. So I'll give it back to you, Alon.
Yes, thanks a lot, Jason. I'm here. Maybe we have some question for Jason. We have some question. We have some question for Jason. Yeah, Maya, c'est clear for me. Feel free to ask. Okay, if we don't have question, we'll continue. Okay, great. So here, as Jason, I introduced to you the principles of the Blue Ocean strategy, and with this very clear and very, I would say, classical example with the we. It's a very clearly understandable example. And with this Bahamas example, we will share with you now some examples of Blue Ocean Awards winners we had from 2014, and it will be good example for you to see what we are looking for, what will be the key deliverables we will have in this program, and you will have to produce by yourself. So as Jason said, we'll not detail more, but one of the key principles is to understand who are your non-users or non-customers in your industry. So this industry you have selected when you create your group, when you create your project team, you define what you say, I want to work on waste management, drinkable water. So this industry, you need to be clear about who are the non-customers or non-users, who are these people currently excluded by this industry. And second point, as Jason showed us, it's about simplification and divergence. We need to eliminate, reduce, raise, and create the current offering, the current traditional offering on this industry. We need to work on it to apply what we call the 4 actions, which are elimination, reduction, raising, and creation. It clearly defines a Blue Ocean strategy. If you're able to do that, you will see your value curves. Jason, I've shown you the as-is, what we call the as-is value curves. It's the current offering on the market curve. You will have to create a new curve and certainly to define a new strategic canvas with new elements to show this movement of elimination, reduction, raising, and creation. That's very key. We have here created this tool, the Blue Ocean matrix, to show in one slide just all these principles. You see where we start, which industry parameter we start from. We want to create a Blue Ocean on it. What we have eliminated, reduced, raised, and created. Who are my non-users? I'm inspired by, and the exploration will be all about that. What is market potential to have that, and which with value proposition and identity. So here we will talk again about this criteria. There are the 7 criteria, very operational, I would say, very practical criteria we use in the Blue Ocean Awards from 2014 for 8 years to analyze the project, to analyze by the jury the finalists, and to define who would be the winners of this Blue Ocean Award. So you can see here it's focusing on key moments, reaching the non-customers, being inspired by the non-users and non-customers. It's about targeting what is key, only what is key. One of the key principles of Blue Ocean Awards is big elements. We call it big elements. It means you don't care about the details. We just have to get the overview, the global understanding, what is happening globally on this industry, and what I can make moving to have an impact, to create something very new. And also in having this double action with low cost and differentiation. So I have to reduce, to eliminate some of these features or values, key element values proposed by this industry to make me more innovative, to make me more differentiate. And I have also to bring something new, what we call created. Eliminate the standards, mass market offering. You need to think always mass market. It's not about niche. It's not about addressing the early adopters. You want to reach 80-90% of the current industry and bringing to this industry these non-users, non-customers. Diverge compared to the offering. It's this movement you can see on the value curves. between the as-is and the to-be value curves, and having unique elements compared to the other offerings on the market. So you can see here the connection between this value, this blue score criteria used by the Blue Ocean strategy jury, investors and organizations, big corporates and so on, connected to the Blue Ocean matrix. This Blue Ocean matrix will be your one of your key deliverables in this program. The objective is to be able to have so accurate innovation that you can define it in just a few words with very big impact in this, and putting these words, these definitions of your offering in this template. It's a one-slide template. Maybe I will let George maybe bring some reactions, or as is very used to all of that. If you want to complete, George.
No, as Alban says, the matrix that he developed is almost a one-page pitch document. It brings all the elements of your Blue Ocean work into one page, where you see what are the focus moments, who are the non-customers, and how you focus on specific groups. And you, as Jason said, you reduce all the elements on the x-axis are costs that you bring to the offering. So by eliminating some of them, you actually reduce cost, and then you can add some of that cost to create and raise, giving you a totally different value proposition. What's also interesting in this is you actually look at what the total size of the market is and what you have created added to the total size of the market. So it's a very, but we'll go through this again while you're doing it, but it's a very simple way to capture the 3 months of work you're going to do. And I'll answer more questions when I'm wandering around.
Yeah, thanks, George. So here we share with you a quick video about an example of a formal Blue Ocean Awards winner. It was in 2019. You can see the video. I will share my audio here and launch the video. Let us know if you don't hear the sound.
We're in the backyard of a French restaurant. What can you see? Packaging, a lot of packaging. On a worldwide scale, this means that a city as big as Paris would disappear under thrown away packaging in just one day. Today, disposable packaging is king for food delivery. I am Anaïs and I co-founded Baobab to change that. Wholesalers deliver food to restaurants in disposable packaging. It is expensive, it takes a lot of space, and it ends up incinerated. Same thing for your local food market. The vendors receive their goods in disposable packaging that ends up incinerated. With Baobab, we replace those packaging with reusable crates. Each delivery is made in those crates that are returned by the restaurants and the vendors. Additionally, we wash and we track the crates. For the whole service, we charge the wholesaler a monthly fee. So Baobab creates a circular system of crates that suppresses all packaging waste. So help us free the streets from the waste. Thank you.
So here we'll ask to all the audience, what is the matrix of this offering? You see, it's quite clearly explained. They have crates. They took, it's very simple ideas. Blue Ocean strategy, it's very simple ideas, but it's a good idea. It's not easy to find. So here you see to reduce and to eliminate this all this pollution with disposable packaging used in the food market to deliver the food. You can see with all these Uber Eats and things. They propose to use reusable crates, and they support all the industry to evolve and to change use that, and they manage a part of this process by themselves for these companies, for this restaurant, and so on. So what, in your opinion, they have here on their matrix? What would be their matrix? What have they eliminated? What have they created? So feel free to take to open your micro. So Lanahan, yes? Raise your hand. Lanahan. And then you are muted. So.
Sorry, I was battling to unmute
Yes.
myself there. I think that she's really just eliminated paper waste, you know, all the cardboard and perhaps even not just the external packaging, but maybe even some internal packaging to an extent, depending how they, you know, doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Do you see other elements eliminated compared to the standard durable packaging offering in this industry? Or created also? Yeah, Fuzia says they reduce pollution. Yeah, exactly. They reduced pollution, reduce the cost of incineration. Yeah, exactly. Fuzia in the chat. So feel free to open your mic. Huh? It's interactive sessions. So what have they created? What do you think they have created? Or yeah, in the matrix. No reactions. And in the chat, Lana, she said reduce earning potential for informal pickers. Yeah, that's true. Mia, you say modular system that stacks easily. Yeah, that's what they have potentially created. It's like a system, like a process. They will be provided a new process to this industry, and they will train this industry to be able to follow this new process, which is very sustainable. And also sanitization of reusable containers. This is a feasibility, how they can make this process possible for this food industry. Elana, you said easily transportable and is a form of protective packaging from damage. Yeah, of course, yeah, it's a better protection. They have raised this protection of the food, the content. Jean-Luc, I see you appearing.
I just thought an interesting component or element to be is, where does the risk now lie? I know it was partially addressed, but with hygiene and say someone gets sick because the packaging wasn't cleaned properly, normally that risk would lie solely on each individual restaurant or customer. And now that risk would lie with Pando. I'm just interested to know that transfer of risk has been now centralized.
I see you have an engineer reaction, looking for the risk, evaluating the risk. In fact, for now, it's Pandobac is just proposing an alternative solution to the delivery packaging. So they have the same risk and the same responsibilities, I guess, to someone with any actor proposing any disposable packaging for transport. That's all the same. They just, you know, instead of disposable packaging, they propose a reusable packaging. And that's all they change. But what is very key, and you can see here on the matrix, what is very key is, of course, they eliminate all this waste coming from the delivery or the storage for the pollution, like you said, they also reduce the budget for transport packaging because it will be more convenient, more affordable. They reduce all the cost and for the storage space needed and the packaging loss rate. And also they propose a flow of data and can make optimization of the process of the transport process, and also better communication between the restaurant and the transport company. And what they have created here, it's a new service, bespoke service, like consulting. It's more like consulting to transform this industry, this restaurant industry, or fish for restaurant, for markets where you can buy food. They make it evolve all this industry using a new process which is very more sustainable, which has no waste, no pollution. And so their objective, how they will proceed, it's more like consultants. They will connect this transport companies, this supplier, and they will connect all of them, all this supply chain. They will connect them and let them evolve to use a new way. And they will provide these crates they need. They will recycle this crate. They will clean this crate because it's required in the process. Just they bring the bricks required to create this new process to have a transformation of the industry. And in terms of non-customers they have addressed, they were inspired by all these new companies, very receiving pressures by the citizens, by the law in Europe. The law about ecology is very strong now and more and more. So they have to evolve. They want to find solutions to reduce this pollution from the packaging. And also the because some of them were not using this transportation packaging because they don't have trust in the disposable packaging, like you said, Jean-Luc. And here it's increased the sanitization, increase the security. And unexplored, all these other industries who are currently using generic packaging. It's ready to wear, cosmetic publishing, and they were totally not clients of this dedicated transportation packaging. They were using their box, their usual box just to transport. And here they could become clients of this offering, of this industry, because they want to reduce or eliminate all this pollution of this disposable packaging. And here you can see the potential market, its potential market valuation in terms of non-customers they have bring in France and the current size of this industry of transportation packaging, and with their objectives here. And yeah, their value proposition is switch to zero waste delivery on the entire supply chain. Zero waste delivery. It's a very successful company in France. Do we have question here on this example? You can see this is a matrix, a Blue Ocean matrix, and your objective on each project you will create, you will work on, it's to have this matrix at the end of the journey, to be able to present it to investors, to cities, to stakeholders. Okay. Some question maybe? Yeah.
Could you say, I mean, as you're watching this, it depends on the product. So sometimes the price is actually raised because the value might be raised. And, so it's not always just about the product. Sometimes it's about the value in itself, and the price would be associated with that. Because I can just see that sometimes, although things may be eliminated, it could actually end up being a more expensive product because the value proposition is so much different to the original product. So although there could be less ingredients, so as to say, in the product, it could actually be more expensive than what is already available.
When we say low cost, Blue Ocean strategy, so as we said, it's all doing low cost and differentiation at the same time. When we say low cost, it's not always about the price. It does not mean that your solution compared to the standard offering should be less expensive. It means you have to eliminate and reduce some value elements. You see, and here we have reduced and eliminate some elements which are proposed by any offering, standard offering on this industry. And maybe the price will be increased, or maybe not, or maybe it will be almost the same. In most of the cases, because you eliminate a lot of things and you reduce a lot of things, it will be a lower price. And here this is the case. At the end of the day, it costs less because you don't have to pay for all this paper and things and packaging. Even if you have paid for some integration in this process and evolution of your process, and it took maybe time in your company to be compatible with this new process, but at the end of the day, it's more efficient and you pay less. Itumeleng and Jean-Luc, yeah, Itumeleng first.
Hi, Juan. Thank you so much for sharing. I think my question is always related to, I understand that the solution that they're providing, but also the innovation. But when you have such simple solution, my issue is that how protected is the solution? What, for instance, in this example, what's stopping the restaurant company from creating their own boxes and just asking the delivery guys to pick it up? Does that not then drive the company out of business?
No, that's an engineer again question. It's of course you can have patents. You can. I think Baobab have some patents, but it's not. Even if they don't have patents, it's not a problem. Innovation, it's all about being the first to propose this new value and address this new market. Of course, if you find something big, you will have a copycat. You know, you will have copies, and you. But you will have been the first. It's the same as GoPro. You know, the GoPro, this little sport camera, action camera. They have created this action camera market. And of course, 2 years after, they were copied by all these Chinese companies. Yes, but they were the first to enter the market. They are created the market, and the market is totally connected to us, to them. And when we talk about this kind of camera, we say GoPro. We don't say any other Chinese company name. You take the biggest part. You create the market. You can also create the rules, the price, and you at the end of the day you get the biggest value, biggest share of the value. Maybe George and Jason, you can complete on that. You have also your opinion.
I'm not really sure of Baobab, but I feel it's not just the box. I think she created an entire ecosystem that provide the value is the process. It's not the box. The box can be copied. It's not a problem. What she created was the entire system, the collection, the online dashboard, the washing facilities, etc. And it would be very difficult for someone to recreate that entire value chain. And that is the thing. It's not the final product that you see. It's the entire system she created, an end-to-end solution. And it's true, could be copied. But if she's come in early and built her relationships, she will have an advantage. Yeah, but you should look at the ecosystem, not just. Sorry, Jason, carry on.
No, just going to agree. Most of what we find in creating a Blue Ocean strategy, it's looking at what's above the water. If you look at a boat, what's above the water, and that's what the market sees, and that's what the competition sees. But most of the innovation happens below the water, meaning the connections, the stakeholders, but most importantly, the business model. And usually the business model doesn't make competitive sense to the competition, and and therefore they don't see it. So most of what happens is below the water, what you don't see. And that's the part that's so difficult to copy, because I think it's like, with Yellowtail wine, for example, they thought, oh, we're going to put an animal on the label. And so there's thousands of types of wines that came out with animals on the label that missed the whole point. Absolutely. It was the business model and it was understanding non-customer. So it makes it very difficult to copy completely. You can copy on the surface easily, but to do the entire value proposition, profit proposition, people proposition, the three elements of strategy, it is easy, it's quite difficult to do. So this is why most copycats are just that.
Exactly, because you are the first, so you have the experience. It's all about experience. If you are the first, it means you have already the contact, the connection with the client, already have experienced all this journey to bring the right value. And all your competitors, when they enter the market, they will have this. They will need to have the same experience. So they will be always maybe 2 years, 3 years. It depends on your industry. It will be late, always a little late. You have this time in advance. Innovation, it's all about having some time in advance. That's what. And how you use this time. We have some question raised. Nakomogeleng ask raised because of its reuse. So the raise part, yes, they bring product and customer typology raised because it's more affordable, more compatible with the size of the typology of the product and of from the customers. Because they have different sizes, it's more they make more resistant, it's more compatible. Packaging ergonomics, yes, it's about that. It's very better for the product to be in this kind of rate compared to paper things or boxes, reuse. And flow data analysis and optimization is because they track these crates. These crates are tracked and you can they are monitored, and you can know exactly what time you used, where is it, and it makes you more able to understand your process and to optimize your process. As you say, it could generate another type of pollution like transportation for collecting and distributing the stuff for packaging. For collecting and distributing, it could use electric truck. Yeah, of course, you can always make it better. And it's all exactly what we point. Because you already have this experience, you have this time in advance compared to the competition. So you're ready to have the next step. And here, certainly, one of the next steps is maybe using electric trucks and to be even less pollution. We have other question or reaction here? It's okay. Okay, so maybe we will have because we had a pause. We have a pause maybe a little later. A little late, so yeah, wanted to share with you the full process because it's good for you to know, to have it in your mind what is this journey you will have in the 3 months. So today and the next session in 2 days we'll have this visual awakening. It's the understanding of your and the analysis of your industry perimeter. What are these competitors' solutions already proposed on this industry in terms of value, and compare them in terms of value. And it will show you maybe is this industry on a blue ocean or red ocean? Are there some opportunities to bring new hidden values competitors have not seen yet? Or it will bring you a full overview. It's all, we said, big elements to have an overview, an overall understanding of what is happening on the industry. So that's the first step. Second step, it's exploration. You will have 1 month, around 1 month to conduct this exploration. You will conduct like 20 or 30 interviews per group, per team. So if you are 3 in the team, it means 10 interviews per participants. If you are 4, it's less. And you will interview these non-users, non-customers, these people currently excluded from this industry. If you are about waste management or water, you will see maybe this township, people living in the township in South Africa, and to understand what is key about water for them, what is key about waste management or energy. Third step, it's ideation. When you will be able to buy what we call the buyer utility map here, you will know what is a key moment and what are the key utilities you need to bring, you need to uncover for this industry. And using this, what we call the 6 paths, and Jason has quickly introduced, and we'll, of course, come back to all of this concept. Using these 6 paths and the understanding of the hidden values on your industry, coming from the exploration, you will be able to have very new ideas with these created, eliminated, reduced, and raised elements. And that's the first step, the last brotion step. It's new offering, new strategy you will be able to define. Okay. And then, of course, in any innovation process, you have other methodologies, other tools to use. And of course, we will have to proceed to a fast prototyping, to lean startup experience, and even you can use design thinking to have the best optimized offering as possible. So, and of course, the objective is to go as possible, the quickest as possible to market feedback, to have MVP, to have experimentation with the city, like we said, to get very quickly feedback and to launch, because alpha test, beta test, it's all about launching because you are connected to clients. And investment, as soon as you will be in front of a jury, as soon as you will be communicating with Brotion Awards, with the final jury, you will have the visibility towards investors, and they will know you exist and they can support you. So here, this 4 Brotion strategy, Brotion shift process, strategic advice, what we do today, and in the next session, you will have to profile your non-users, non-customers. Second step, explore the exploration step. You will use what we call buyer user cycle and utility levers to identify on the buyer utility map where are the key issues of these non-users, non-customers. Ideation will use 6 paths. Maybe you will need the PMS map. It's a map to make you easily selection of ideas. And the last step, your strategy, your construction of your strategy with your new offering, is this blue ocean matrix that we have shared with you, using scenario, usage or using scenario, and MVP. That's why we have Veolia's engineers. They will support you in thinking about what will be the MVP if you follow after the final jury, and this strategic canvas to be. As you can see here, it's the strategic canvas is evolving. There is a first version you will draw today, and another, and it will certainly evolve a little at the next session, and it will evolve all the time, and we reconstruct and define a new way to understand the industry with a new strategic canvas. We call it the 2B. Okay. Do we have questions? And you can see here all these steps of your journey on the next 3 months, with each session following these key steps. With the goggles is the session we have with your coaches to prepare, to brief and debrief each main session. Here we are now on the BlueCity principles and Blue Ocean Shift process. I see. Yeah, questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you, Sami.
Yes, so my question is, when you talk about the non-customer, should they be the buyer, which means people are giving you money, or it be a different type of group and a different of?
It's profiling. You will profile. We will do this on the next session. You see here, identify non-user and exclusive. It's all about people like Jason has introduced with the we and with Bahamas. It's all, and you can see with the example here, there are companies here on the back. They are all, when you have a look on the industry, who are these profiles who are currently excluded or against the standard offering of this industry? So they have never been considered as potential clients by the industry. They are unexplored, or they are against the offering, like the anti, or they are quitting because, like here from Baobab, there are pressure by the law. There are a lot of pressure in Europe for reducing the pollution and very strict rules. But they have to quit this disposable packaging solution. They have to quit. They have to find something new. So they are too big. Okay. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, sir. I mean, I'll get more clarity.
We'll have a workshop on that. Don't worry.
Yes.
I see from the BlueCity team, Stefan has just joined us, Stefan Alix. So I will let Stefan, hi Stefan. I will let Stefan introduce himself. Here you can see. He's here is a professional investor. He will mostly support you in the pitch training session at the end of the journey.
Yeah.
Stefan.
Hello guys, Stefan from BlueCity team, actually in Paris. Yes, during this journey, I carry the investor view to allow entrepreneurs to increase their chance. And I will be a relay with many key investor VCs, if I may. So I'm here at the end of the session to bring VC view and some. I will challenge you in this mind.
Thank you, Stefan. So here we will start today with this first workshop in the afternoon with starting the visual awakening. We'll now give you the guidelines for the workshop, and then you will be working in groups. So the brief of the visual awakening, I will switch here on. You have an example you can all access on the platform. It's Sun Mobility. I will give you more details about Sun Mobility next time. This is a formal winner of the Blue Ocean Awards. Where is it? Oh, you have already created a lot of projects. That's good. Yeah, it's here. So all your work today, the workshop session, and next time is to fill in, to work on this part, visual awakening. You see here, first question is about the list of current customers of your industry. You have a reminder here of the industry perimeter you are defined when you set up the group. Here it's energy infrastructure for electric vehicles. Here you have the name of your group, the industry perimeter. And so first question will be, you will have to list your current customers for this industry. You click on update and you can list all the current customers of this industry. Second step, it will be here to list what we call the key elements. The key elements, you know, they are these elements here at the x-axis of the strategic canvas. So mostly to help you to start to find these key elements within the group, and you work in the group. It's these key elements are the criteria which are key. When you are the customer, these customers you have listed here, these criteria, they are the key criteria to choose for customers between the existing offerings on the market, on the industry. So, of course, there is a price always, and then you have to define. You click on New here to add a new key element. You can also provide with a quick description, and here select where they would be on the curve to start. But then you can move it. You can move directly on the graph you see here. So here, and you have also edit button here. If you want to edit one of the key elements you already written, you can remove some you don't need on the graph. And you have this button upvote if you need to select to proceed to a vote within the group to select the right elements. Maximum 8. Okay, you need maximum 8. So that's the second step. And third step, it's here product and service offerings currently on the market. So there are the main service or product offerings currently proposed on your industry. So you can click on New here and select a color. It will be the color of their curves on the strategic canvas, and you give a name here, and you click on Add. You can remove some of them if you want to, if you change your mind. So you will see here these key elements will be on the x-axis, and y-axis will be the level for each competitors on the industry. You can select or unselect to see or to hide their curves, and you will here define their position in terms of value for the customers. You know, as the customer feel, as a customer experience these offerings. It's not about, as we said, it's always big elements. It's not about very precise position of the curve. It's just relative position between each offerings, each competitors in the industry, or each solution. If you are about public services, it can be solutions. Okay, and when you have this, you will be able to have some answers to this question. That's the second part of the visual awakening. Here you have the question. You can answer adding here conclusion. Okay. Do we have questions? Your coaches are already aware, already trained to do that. So they are here to support you. And with George, Jason, Stefan, me, we are visiting the groups if you need us. Or if your coach calls us, we are here to assist. Do we have some questions? So Fuzia asked on the chat, yeah, no, you don't have to first select the project. It's you create your team. As we said, you just need to create a team here in this part, add, you click on add, and you define the team name, the industry perimeter. Yes, you have to choose. Today, all the teams have to choose their industry perimeter. And then you select your organization to make it visible to your organization. You don't select a project. The project is what we are doing now. So when you have a team, for instance, here, team business services, you have now to proceed the workshop to this visual awakening part. Okay, so point 1, visual awakening, and second, visual awakening conclusion. As a strategic canvas and our visual awakening conclusion. Feel free to open your micro if you want. Maya, you ask, will there be any break at all to replenish body? No, of course you can manage your time like you want. Each coach are in charge, and you can now have a break, of course, for the lunch. So of course, from 12 to 4 p.m. From now to 4 p.m. South African time, you are free to have a break, to have lunch. Normally, it's enough time this visual reckoning, we'll finalize it at the next session. So yeah, it's objective to let you start and starting this strategic Canva, and we will share at 4 p.m. We all meet here in the same Zoom. So at 4 p.m. we all have to meet here to come back on the Zoom, and you will and we'll share and your questions or where we are. So what I will be creating now is the teams on the Zoom, so we will be able to join each of your teams. The coaches, you are co-host. So it means that in the Zoom session, you are able to jump from one group to another one as you want. Okay. Kwesi, you have question? You raise your hand.
Yes. So, and since last time, I've been reflecting on, the areas, the energy, tourism, water, etc. And so just reflecting on our team within Tshimologong, none of us are, I don't even want to use the word experts, but are knowledgeable about those particular fields. Like we understand business and we understand innovation. And so we feel like we're setting up these teams or these groups, but we feel like our contribution in terms of, the understanding of the industry, the competitors, etc., is so limited. And we're just worried about our ability to effectively support the entrepreneurs without people knowledgeable in those sectors or industries being part of the group.
No, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be to play the customer, to feel the customer, to be like a customer, and just choose what the customer is facing in terms of choice. And, Jason, yeah, sure.
Yes, it's better to not be an expert. Actually, you give a better perspective, and you're the player coach in the fact that you know the process and how to use each tool, and it'll come together at each stage. But it is actually much more of an advantage not to be an expert, and to really focus on the objectives of each task.